I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Paul Beresford-Hill, the Permanent Observer of the Sovereign Order of Malta to the United Nations.
Madam President, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, I extend my sincere appreciation to the Presidency of the United Kingdom and to the Member States of the Security Council for organizing this crucial debate on the Middle East and for granting us the privilege of being part of this discussion, and to Assistant Secretary General Chiari for his briefing. The Sovereign Order of Malta, created 900 years ago in Jerusalem, our first mission was to care for sick pilgrims visiting the Holy Land. Our hospitals soon became a haven of support and care, not only for Christians, but also for Muslims and Jews. And while we now operate in over 122 countries, providing humanitarian care and medical services to those of all religions and none, the Middle East, particularly Israel and Palestine, are very close to us. Permit me to highlight two issues pertinent to the current conflict in Palestine, which are of concern. Firstly, our humanitarian efforts in the Middle East are extensive, with multiple clinics, hospitals, and healthcare facilities. In response to the growing needs and regional upheaval and conflict, we have a prominent role serving displaced communities in refugee camps in Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. In Palestine, the Holy Family Hospital in Bethlehem, run by our order, stands out as a source of hope, offering comprehensive medical care and services to a geographically diverse, yet largely impoverished community. However, amidst the ongoing conflict in Palestine, providing essential healthcare services to its people has become increasingly difficult. The prevalence of roadblocks and delays at checkpoints has worsened the health situation for those in need, resulting in unnecessary and untimely suffering, even death. The provision of medical care has been severely limited due to ambulances and aid workers becoming frequent targets of attack, endangering both patients and medical personnel. According to the World Health Organization, there have been 750 health-related attacks recorded in the Palestinian territory between 2019 and 2022. These have led to the death of one health worker and caused injuries to 568 others. Additionally, 315 ambulances and 160 healthcare facilities were impacted by these incidents, and the number is still rising. Furthermore, as a result of financial constraints and complex tax arrangements negotiated under the 1994 Paris Protocol, the smooth movement of medical aid across the borders encounters frequent obstacles. Additionally, the intricacies and delays within bureaucratic customs and excise creates hurdles that impede the timely and efficient entry of essential medical supplies and equipment into the region. And addressing these issues is imperative in making healthcare more readily available to the sick and the poor. We respectfully call on both the Israeli and Palestinian governments to fulfill their commitments to the international community. We ask that Israel, as agreed to in the Oslo II Accords, abide by those clauses reflecting the Paris Protocol signed between the PLO and the State of Israel. Likewise, we appeal to the Palestinian authorities to work towards unifying opposing factions in the state and, in so doing, reduce confrontation through dialogue and diplomacy. The second issue is freedom and tolerance of religious diversity, because this remains a concern within this conflict. Actions prejudicial to religious freedom in the region have dramatically increased. There's been a marked rise in physical and verbal abuse, not just directed at Christian clergy, but also focusing on pilgrims, worshippers, and religious sites. Christian locations that have been targeted include the Catholic Basilica of the Annunciation in Nazareth, as well as Orthodox and other denominational churches. The desecration of the Anglican cemetery in Jerusalem earlier this year caused an international outcry. Similarly, there have been distressing attacks on mosques, and as we have heard, these are happening this very day. Strikes against places of worship and the intimidation of their congregations. However, it tragically reflects a broader international trend that is not exclusive to Palestine nor to Israel, but which is inspired by extremism. It is a trend that has led to an alarming global rise in Christianophobia, Islamophobia, and I might also add, with emphasis, anti-Semitism. The protection of civilians, especially medical and aid workers in conflict zones, has been always a priority of the UN, as referenced by Resolution 2286. This, combined with Resolution 2686, provides a clear directive to the international community that violations of these principles not only exacerbate tensions, but contribute to instability and pile intolerance on top of intolerance. Madam President, let me close with a quotation from our Grand Master, His Most Eminent Highness Fra John Dunlap, who, referencing global conflict, remarked recently that I express my grave concern about acute human rights violations perpetrated against defenseless civilians. And I hope that the international community will step up its action to prevent the erosion of those human rights, particularly in the area of unrestricted access to healthcare and the fundamental right to religious freedom. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank His Excellency Mr. Beresford-Hill for his statement.